One of the most common claims made against Islam is that the Quran merely copied stories from the Bible. Critics point to shared figures such as Adam, Noah, Moses, Joseph, and Jesus, and conclude that Islam borrowed from earlier scriptures. For many Muslims encountering this claim for the first time, it can sound convincing, until the claim is examined carefully. The first question that must be asked is simple. Does similarity automatically mean copying? If two texts speak about the same historical figures, similarity is not only expected, it is unavoidable. If Moses truly existed, then any truthful account of him will overlap in names, locations, and events. Similarity alone proves nothing. What matters is how those stories are told, what details are included, and whether the narratives agree or conflict. This is where the Quran stands apart. When we compare Quranic narratives with biblical ones, we do not find blind repetition. Instead, we find corrections, clarifications, and astonishing historical precision. Take the story of Yusuf, as an example. In the Bible, the rulers of Joseph's era are called pharaohs. Historically, Egyptologists now know that the title pharaoh was not used during Joseph's time. The Quran, however, never calls the ruler of Joseph's era a pharaoh. It calls him the king, al-Malik. Only later, in the time of Moses, does the Quran begin using the title pharaoh, exactly where history places it. This distinction was unknown in the 7th century. It was only confirmed through modern Egyptology. This is not copying, this is correction. Now consider something even more striking, the Quran's mention of Haman. The Quran repeatedly mentions Haman as a high official in Pharaoh's court during the time of Moses. Critics once mocked this, claiming the Quran confused the biblical Haman from the Persian era in the Book of Esther with Egypt. But modern discoveries changed everything. After the deciphering of Egyptian hieroglyphs through the Rosetta Stone, Egyptologists discovered inscriptions mentioning a high-ranking official whose title closely matches Haman, associated with construction projects under Pharaoh. His role aligns precisely with the Quranic description, a man involved in building monumental structures. The Bible never mentions Haman in Egypt, yet the Quran names him correctly, in the right place, at the right time, with the right function. This knowledge was impossible to access in 7th century Arabia. Another example lies in the portrayal of prophets. In the Bible, many prophets are described committing grave moral sins, drunkenness, incest, deception, and immorality. In the Quran, prophets are consistently portrayed as morally upright, truthful, and guided, human, yet protected from disgraceful acts that would undermine their mission. This reflects not copying, but theological consistency. The Quran also corrects biblical geography and timelines. For example, the Quran never places Israelites in Egypt building cities during periods that archaeology shows those cities did not yet exist, a mistake found in some biblical narratives. Another overlooked detail is language and voice. Modern textual studies, including stylometric analysis, show that the Quran maintains a single, consistent authorship pattern across 23 years of revelation. Unlike the Bible, which clearly reflects multiple authors, writing styles, and theological viewpoints across centuries, the Quran itself explains its role clearly. He has revealed to you the book in truth, confirming what came before it and as a criterion over it. Quran 5:48. A criterion does not copy. A criterion judges, corrects, and preserves truth. Finally, there is a simple question critics rarely answer. If the Prophet Muhammad was copying from the Bible, why did he repeatedly disagree with it? And why did those disagreements anger Jews and Christians of his time instead of pleasing them? Copying seeks approval. Correction invites resistance. The Quran did not copy the Bible. It addressed the same history from the same divine source, and corrected what time, translation, and human interference had altered. And that is why, even today, its precision continues to surprise those who examine it honestly.